to what has to be the coolest video that we've made thus far. Like,
it's definitely cool. I don't know if it's the coolest video.
Like,
maybe it's the coolest video.
Literally cool.
No, okay.
Not like figuratively cool. So,
no, okay. It literally will be the coolest video we've made so far.
So today's video is all about an air conditioner. This is one of the most asked questions I think we've gotten so far is, you know, hey, are you guys gonna go, you know, grab an air conditioner and stick it in your van? So initially that answer was no.
So when we were doing a lot of our research out there, there wasn't a lot of 12 volt options for installing in the van, and of course we really wanted to keep our van as much 12 volt as possible, and quite frankly we couldn't run a 120 volt air conditioner in the middle of nowhere for a couple of hours if we needed to. So we did a little research and we finally found one that we think is going to work for us.
That's right, we are going with the Nomadic Cooling 12 volt air conditioner.
So the particular unit we went with is the 2000 unit on their website. It has a 75 amp compressor. Yeah, we're really excited about it. We're mostly doing this for our cat.
Yeah, so she's the one who wanted the air conditioning.
Yeah.
I mean, Sandy and I are pretty tough, but I mean, Kita, she's going to be 18 in May.
Yeah, so she asked for the air conditioner. It was something like meow, 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 meow.
I'm pretty sure she said something.
She wanted an air conditioner.
Yeah, 12 volt AC, Nomadic Cooling, which, I mean, that's weird.
Very specific.
She spends a lot of time on the internet. All right, guys, so before we install this, we are going to have to take our old Max Air fan off. I'm thinking this is probably going to be the longest portion of the install.
I think so, because we used some butyl tape to kind of level it out, and I've heard that getting that off of there so we can get a good seal on the new one is a pain in the butt.
Okay, so first portion of this project is taking the Max Air fan off. We're gonna have to get all this sealant up and basically unscrew it from the van, and then we'll attack the butyl tape, and then we'll be ready to install the AC. So to help clean up after the butyl tape and all the sealant that we used up there, we used this 3M adhesive remover. It worked really good, didn't mess with the paint or anything, so got it pretty clean. Still took a lot of scrubbing, but I think it would have been a lot longer if we didn't use this. And there she is, nice and clean. So pretty much this puts us even with our 14 by 14 hole that, you know, if you don't have a Max Air fan or you're just doing this for the first time, boom, there you go. So 14 by 14 hole. Okay, you ready to show them what's inside the box?
Yes, so we are ready to put the air conditioner on top. So we've already looked at everything, but we'll show you basically what's in here. There's a little box here that has, this is the gasket for the top. This is the metal frame that which attaches the whole thing in place. This did not come with it, but you will need this. So that's that. And then there's a bag here. This actually had this in it, but it's also got, this is like a little, I don't know what you call it, but you put it up in there and it helps direct the cold air where it needs to go.
Cold air director.
Yeah, it directs cold air. We won't pull this out quite yet, but this is the face that's going to go up into the ceiling with the control panel and the vents on it. And then in here, this is part of the control panel. That'll get attached there like that. We have to do all that still. And then there's a bag of goodies here. This has got zip ties, the remote, the bolts to attach it, the screws to attach the plate, all those kind of goodies, and we'll show you these as we kind of put it together.
But most importantly,
the most important thing is there's a little swag bag. And it's backwards because we had it out already. So
I love when manufacturers do this.
I know. So
like, I love it.
Cool stickers, a Velcro patch, and what are these things called for your phone?
Oh, pop socket.
Pop socket.
We're not going to do the installation of the pop socket today. It's going to be a whole separate video.
I know, it's going to be a very in-depth video on installing a pop socket. And then, of course, the actual air conditioner itself.
Okay, we have our 14 by 14 hole. It really sucked cleaning up all that sealant, but got it done. So the next thing we need to do is to lay down this gasket, which the AC is going to sit on. But first problem, we have these ridges here. Hopefully you can see them. So we called the wonderful people at Nomadic Cooling. Thanks, Elliot. Hope you're watching, actually. So he suggested that we, number one, we're not going to use any of the RV ProFlex on the back of this. We're going to let the 3M do its thing. So, and we are going to clamp it on either side of the edge to help it stick to the surface of the van better. And then once that's done, that's when we attack the outside with as much RV ProFlex as we dare. That's not a direct quote, but I mean, that's pretty much the idea of the conversation. We only got one chance at this. So we're going to take our 3M adhesive backing off. I usually don't do this kind of thing. I usually leave this to Sandy. She's much more coordinated than I am when it comes to this kind of thing. So
Make sure it's lined up.
do the best I can.
Mostly the front to back.
Okay, I think that is... Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, so we have her up here on the roof. And the sealant, I know you can't see the sealant, but it's underneath here. But sorry we didn't show it. We had our neighbor come by and help us throw this up on the roof. It weighs about 65 pounds. I mean, it's not that it's really heavy. It's kind of one of those awkwardly shaped, you know, bulky, awkward items.
Okay, so hopefully you can see this. So this metal ring sits on the inside. We have hand tightened these screws. There's 4 of them into the air conditioner. Now, once you get these hand tight, you're going to want to take these nuts right here and you're going to tighten them up against the metal frame, and that's what holds the air conditioner to the body of the van. Seems pretty solid. What are you doing?
I don't know. Is that a good thing? So we are doing the wiring for the air conditioner. So we have the positive and the negative line coming down here. They've given us these little 2 connector blocks. We are actually hooking our 2-gauge wire up to it, which we have already ran down the wall and down to our battery system. So we just got to get this together and then pull this over and shrink wrap it all up. All right, so it's all wired up and ready to go.
Originally our hole was cut for a max air fan, so we've had to do some modifications. We've made some rough cuts and we added a color matching board to our ceiling here. You're not going to be able to see this when it's installed, so it's not like the prettiest cuts in the world, but that'll help facilitate covering or installing the AC cover.
So we just wanted to quickly show you why we had to make those rough cuts for this, and basically it's because that max air fan has more of a square shape and their faceplate from Nomadic is more rectangular. So the width here to have access where we have air coming out of all 4 of these vents, we had to basically widen it because we were basically kind of cutting off half of a vent here. So by doing that, we'll just be able to get the full benefit of the airflow coming out of this thing. So this is an air separator gasket right here. It basically is going to fit kind of around the vents like this up in the ceiling. And what it does is it's going to separate the cold air coming out of the air conditioner from the warm air that's being brought in through this vent to be cooled. This actually is going to go up in the ceiling first. It's going to sit about right here. And what we're going to do, because we want to seal this off as best as possible, is we've got some foam insulating tape and we're basically going to seal it up around this edge, creating a seal up through here That way we keep all the cold air coming out through the vents and not kind of escaping back over to the warm air side or out through the top of the van.
As you can see, we have used the foam tape to seal the air separator. Looks pretty good.
Okay, so the last thing to do is to connect up our connectors, and then we're going to try this out. So there are just 3 connectors. You've got this big guy here, and then these 2 little guys here. There's a black one and a, they've kind of painted it black for us, and a white one, which with the black and the white connectors. So we're going to connect them up. They suggested we turn it up and try it out before we mount or, post it all up there. So we're going to plug them in, and then Jed's going to go under and turn it on for us. All right, so Jed's flipped the breaker. Time to press this power on button, see if it comes on. It's blowing air. Appears to be working. All right, so I'm going to turn it off. And then we're going to attach this up here, and then we're going to actually test it out for you guys.
That's so satisfying.
It is. Heat it up a little. Open some vents. They're nice. They're directional. And let's turn it back on. I don't know if you can say it's saying that the temperature of the air coming in is 76 degrees, 77 degrees, which is probably about right. I think we're at 70 here today, so probably a little warmer in here. And then the air it's blowing out right now, it says, is coming out at 70 degrees. Showing our battery voltage, saying we're at 12.8. I don't know if we've charged them recently, and we've had our solar panels off, so I don't know how full they are. We'll look at all that in a minute. But it's on and it's working. Now it's saying the air coming out is 66 degrees. 65.
Okay, we have the AC cranked all the way up. According to our Victron app, we are using 42.7 amp hours right now. I really hope you can hear this and not just a bunch of wind blowing in the microphone. But it's cold. Well, Sandy has all the vents pointed towards me, so I'm cold.
The panel says that the air coming out right now is 47 degrees and the air going in is 70, so it's now 69 going in, so temperature in the van is coming down. Yeah, it's putting out some nice cold air.
And that's how you install an air conditioner without killing yourself or your friends.
Is that like your new saying?
I guess it's my new saying.
So, the installation actually went fairly smoothly. The problems that we had were because of how we had already built the van, not necessarily because the air conditioning was hard to install. It was actually very easy to install.
Yeah, it was actually really a lot more simple than I thought it was going to be. By the way, huge shout out to Nomadic Cooling. Their product is awesome, but their customer service is just some of the best that we've ever experienced.
And with definitely the best that we've encountered with this van build of any part that we've had. Like every time we've contacted them, they've answered the phone. If they haven't answered the phone, and I was actually shocked, like that they called back. I didn't even leave a message, and they called back, and they're like, "Hey, what do you need?" So, yeah, top-notch customer service. We'll pay extra money for good customer service.
But special shout out to Jonathan, Kenzie, and Elliot for helping us throughout this build. We've talked to all 3 of them. If you work at Nomadic Cooling, we didn't call your name. It's just because we haven't talked to you.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk to us, give us a call.
Yeah, give us a call.
Yeah, I mean, we're here all the time, working on the van. So, but yeah.
It puts out cold air.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's only, I can't remember. It's around 70. I think when
it's like 70, 71 degrees outside.
We have a little temp stick that we check the temperature in here, and I think it was 74 degrees in here, 73.6, something like that. And you can definitely feel the cold air. Of course, the back here where our bed was where it was very cold, and that's kind of where we wanted it. So if we ever need it for sleeping or anything, and we can always just kind of put a curtain up here if we wanted to just keep this one little area cool. So, and we're okay with that, but. yeah, it throws out plenty of cold air. I mean, obviously we can't truly test it in like super hot weather, which we will do at some point and kind of give you guys an update on how everything's working.
Yeah, we're definitely going to revisit this in some hotter temperatures, because we do have plans on going to some hotter temperatures, which is why we have an air conditioner.
Yeah, that's what prompted us to add it on and remove the fan in the first place, is that we kind of need to be some places that are warmer this summer. So
I am surprised at the power draw, though. The power draw, so we tested it without our solar on.
And we had it on Eco, and we put it up to 5, which you can go like basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for your
fan settings.
So we turned it on Eco, and we put it all the way up to 5, and we were pulling, what, 40, maybe 44, 45 amps at that level. We turned it down to 3, and we were pulling like 35 amps at that level. We decided to flip on our solar panels, so we flipped on our solar panels, and we were getting about 200 watts from our solar, which basically have that. We at one point were only pulling 17 to 20 amps while running our solar at the same time.
And it's cloudy, so our solar's not doing the greatest right now.
No.
So, but if we had these conditions and it was hot and cloudy, then, I mean, they advertise, 8 hours of compressor on time. I think if you have a decent solar setup, we have 525 watts. So, I mean, if you're out in the desert, it's warm. I mean, obviously it's going to work harder, but our solar is going to be more efficient too. So,
So, you know, just first looks, we're very happy with it. It looks really nice in the van.
And big shout out for the extra parts. They actually include extra parts.
A few extra parts, yeah.
So, which is nice.
Extra vent covers and a few extra screws, like these up here, which you would have obviously a really hard time matching. So it's just nice to have those little spare things around.
And a swag bag, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
If you sell parts, send me stickers and stuff.
We like stickers.
The only complaint I have is that there's no branding on the outside of the air conditioner, and I'm like, man.
We're thinking actually about painting it black anyway, so it matches all the rest of the trim on the van. So we'll see. I mean, right now we're just going to leave it white. We might go back and pull the shroud off and paint it. But yeah, first looks, very happy with it. Can't wait to test it out and see how it does in the real world.
And just a nod to why we went with Nomadic Cooling. So on our travel trailer, we did have a Dometic air conditioner. It was a brand new travel trailer. It failed. There was a leak in one of the welds, and all the Freon leaked out basically into the tray.
Now, I'm sure not all Dometic air conditioners just do that.
No.
I mean, it's just the experience, one of the experiences we had with Dometic.
But trying to call customer service with Dometic was less than fruitful. Let's put it that way. And we basically had to end up sourcing our own AC and getting it.
We'll pay extra money for good customer service.
And it seems like Nomadic's really dedicated to making their customers happy. And, I mean...
They are. And, like, every step of the way, we've chatted with them online when we were trying to make the decision which air conditioner to use. You know, we've chatted with them on the phone, and every single time they've been super helpful. They're like, hey, don't hesitate to call back. You know, so many times when you call customer service or you call these other companies, they make you feel like an idiot.
Yeah, they didn't make you feel stupid.
Like, they don't make you feel stupid. They're there. Like, they genuinely want to help, and they are very helpful. So, I mean, we can't speak highly enough of them. So,
well, hopefully you found this video useful. And especially if you're considering an AC, and this wasn't in our original plans, but it was easy to take out the max air fan and do a little bit of adjusting with our ceiling in order to stick this in. So, I mean, if you have a max air fan and you're like, you know what, this is not cutting it, you've been in your van for a bit, and you're like, man, I'd really like to go to some warmer places, but, you know, it's just too dang hot. I mean, to me, this is kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But if you found this useful, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a big thumbs up. And as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.
Yeah. And, you know, like, we'd love to hear about your experiences with other air conditioners. We still like to hear about other things that are out there. Obviously, we've done some research. But if you have a Nomadic, tell us what you think about it. If you have a Dometic or any other kind of... and we're talking true 12-volt air conditioners here.
Yeah.
So we'd love to hear what your thoughts are on them. Yeah, so drop them in the comments. And we can't wait to hear from you guys. But I think that's going to do it for this video, yes?
Yep.
All right. That only leaves one thing.
Until next time, guys, stay wonderful.
Call it a day.